All
Sheslie,
right.
good afternoon. Thank you so much for being with us today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm Sheslie Royster. I was born in North Carolina. We moved to Baltimore when I was probably about 5. So when there are good things going on in Baltimore, I claim Baltimore is where I was raised. And when you guys are showing off, then I'm from North Carolina. Um, we lived here. I went to high school in Baltimore County to Milford Mill Academy is what it's called now. Go Millers. Oh, that's the Aggies. So that I don't know how you make the sign for a beaver. That's what we were, a beaver. I don't know who picked that, but that's what we were, and we rocked it. So I went there for all 4 years, and then I graduated, and I went to Towson, which is where I majored in accounting and subsequently graduated. And then after that, worked at a bunch of different places and ended up at CohnReznick, where now I work. I'm a partner in the tax practice, and I lead our Baltimore and Charlotte. We combine those two and call it Charlemore office. And also, my specialty is renewable energy. So I lead the renewable energy practice of the firm also from a tax perspective.
Can you think of somebody back when you were in high school, a teacher, a professor, a family member, a coworker that had a huge impact in your career?
I think the people who most influenced my career, probably my parents, right? My parents were teachers. They were all educated, and in our family, there was no thought about whether you were going to college or not. It was just kind of, we never even talked about it. That was just your natural path. And I think that they instilled upon us the fact that you have to reach higher and not just stop at a certain level. Within the school setting, I hated school. I couldn't wait to get out of school. I didn't want to go. I was just glad when the fourth year came and I was out of there. So, so I don't necessarily know that I spent a lot of time with my teachers or anything like that. But I'd say my parents probably were the biggest influence.
And how did you find your way into a career in accounting?
So the way I found my way into accounting was because I was not good at math. So everybody thinks an accountant has to be good at math. All you have to be able to do is use a spreadsheet and be able to use a adding machine. A 10 key was what it was called back in the day, but now you guys all do everything on your computer. So as long as you can add on your computer, you're good. So I was initially going to be a computer science major. And I went in with that thought until they said, okay, you have to take calculus, and they drew an F on the board, and it was dy dx, and all the numbers were gone. And I was like, okay, this isn't math. I got to get out of here, right? I was a pharmacy clerk, so I worked in the back with pharmacists, and I was telling the pharmacist I didn't know what I was going to major in. That computer science I couldn't deal with calculus. I had to tap out, and she said, well, why don't you take an accounting class? And I said, I already know how to balance my checkbook. I don't know why you're thinking I need to go and take accounting. She was like, no, it's more than that. I was like, all right, whatever. So I went and took an accounting class, and it was easy. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll major in this. And that's how I became an accountant.
And in the expand of your career, did you ever face a situation that made you want to give up or discourage you, and how did you overcome that?
I've always faced situations where you're different, right? Being a minority, being female, and being in a professional environment. When you walk in, like in accounting, you get to a place where you're not necessarily the technical aspects of your job or what kind of move you along. At some point in time, you have to turn outward and start selling services to people and have them want to come and give you their work to provide the accounting services. So we go to a lot of seminars and meetings like that. And when you walk into a room, you may be different from everybody else in the room, right? So I'll walk in and it'll be like a raisin in a bowl of milk, right? And so, you encounter some people who have a preconceived notion about who you are just from how you look. And so oftentimes you have to overcome that. What I've learned is that you can't let other people's opinion of you shape your opinion of yourself. So you can't let other people define who you are. You have to define yourself. I think that's the key.
And if you had access to a travel machine, um, and you were able to talk to your 15-year-old self, what would you say?
That when you go through life, you need to make sure that you're meeting and networking with as many people as you can. That oftentimes, I know my parents told me, go to school, get good grades, you'll get a good job, you'll be promoted, and life will be good. And the part that she left out was that you need to know people in order to be able to make all those other things happen. A lot of times it isn't what you know, it's who you know. And who you know may be somebody who's least like you that may give you the best opportunity in life. You never know where your opportunity is going to come from. So when, through high school, through college, even at different jobs, you should be meeting as many people as you can, and treat everybody, with the same respect as if, you would want to be treated, and try to make as many connections as you can. That's what I would tell myself.